It's time to lay down some chaps and just put on a little bit of cheese because the Skaven are back and they are more deadly than ever. Welcome to War Games on Toast, all of you lovely people. It's me, it's Toast. How are you all doing? Warcry has received an ungodly amount of content this last few weeks because we got a new FAQ and it didn't just change things, it made so many things more playable with Bladeborn. It added whole new factions. It changed some factions in ways that have completely redefined how they work. It is a huge, it's a glut of content and it's a fun time. And Skaven in particular have gotten some few new toys. It's not the full faction rework I think many people were hoping for, but it is some pretty cool stuff and I'm very excited to talk about. But before we get into all that, it's time for a little bit of shilling.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing as that helps me fight against the dastardly YouTube algorithmic demon. And if you want to help in a more tangible way, then please consider signing up to my YouTube members or my Patreon like all of these wonderful people on screen now. Badoosh. And if you don't want to dedicate yourself to a monthly subscription but still want to help the channel out, then feel free to throw me a coffee. But with all of that out of the way, let's get on with the show.
And now for something completely different.
And we're back. It's time for some Skaven time, and right off the bat, I have no idea what's changed right here. This right here? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. It looks the same to me. I have no idea. I'm sure it's changed a little bit somewhere. Someone in the comments let me know, because I think Warcry is updated, so I can't look at the old ability, but it looks to be what I remember it to be. It's an AoE +1 attack. Has it changed? I don't know. Was it visible only before? I don't know. Who knows? No one knows. Someone probably knows. I don't know. On to the fun stuff. Okay, we now have a new hero. 2 new heroes, in fact. One being the Claw Lord on Norbeast. This is that rat who rides that giant rat, right, in the new Vermintide box. It's beautiful. Beautiful model. Okay, this guy is great. He's very expensive, and his stats do not convey anything remotely close to why he's so good. Because he's very expensive, and he's mounted, and he's not that durable, and he's not that good in combat. There's nothing immediately that stands out as being great here. But he is very, very interesting. So right off the bat, this guy's moving 8, and even with mounted, doesn't matter. Being this fast is always a good thing. And Skaven already fast, and this guy's one of the faster ones that moving 8. We love to see it. Toughness 4 is fine. 22 wounds is very, very low for 230 points. Offensively, 4425 at 2-inch range is kind of fine again. It's not that great for 230 points. At range though, 6312. That's a lot of fun. This guy's got a 6-barreled pistol, by the way. If you didn't know, this one has a pistol with 6 barrels. And of course, our Lord and Saviour, John Bracken, came in with his usual meme stats and gave the 6-barrel pistol 6 shots with a terribly low damage. It's a lot of fun. This many shots, even at that low damage, is actually a wonderful bit of chip. And I think you'll actually see this being used way more than you might initially think, because you'll use this just to go pop, 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 and just chips one away for the last couple of wounds, which is kind of cool. And his melee profile is kind of fine, right? Now, why you take him, okay, besides all the other Skaven stuff that you have, the reason you take the Claw Lord on Norbeast is because of his beautifully thematic triple forward minions. It reads, pick a visible friendly fighter with a Skaven rune mark that does not have the hero or the monster rune mark that is wholly within 6 inches of this fighter. We'll stop there for a second. This ability comes out hot and it drops a whole bunch of restrictions. Only Skaven. It can't be a hero, it can't be a monster, and you have to be completely within 6 inches. That's a lot of restrictions, and the wholly within thing is not something we often see in Warcry, so do not forget that. That's possibly the most important part. They're going to be completely within 6 inches to use this ability on them, okay? A lot of restrictions, because it's kind of cool. On to the good stuff though. That fighter can make a bonus attack action and a bonus move action up to a number of inches equal to the value of this ability. If an enemy fighter is not taken down by damage points allocated by that attack action, or if that move action does not end within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, allocate D6 damage points to that friendly fighter. Designer notes, they are punished for their incompetence. This is great. There are so many combos, so many things in Skaven just pop off. The amount of really cool things you do with Skaven with this is great. This ability is so strong. It's a move action on Skaven, who are fast as all heck to begin with, and an attack action on Skaven, who have some of the most reliable damaging pieces in the game. Like Storm Fiends, Rat Ogres are fantastic in combat, and they get to attack for free again. But there's more. It's just an attack action. It doesn't say melee. This means it works on all the many ranged units that Skaven have, which is even more interesting. Now, of course, the downside is if you don't fulfill the requirements of killing a thing or getting close to a thing, you take d6 damage, and that can be quite substantial. It doesn't matter. Right off the bat, it does not matter. The Claw Lord on Norbeast is such a cool utility pick, and this ability is so good. I can see Skaven players taking the Claw Lord because of this utility alone. He is more expensive than a lot of the things you can take in Skaven in the leader section, but forward minions opens up Skaven to all kinds of play. And remember, the order in which you do these actions and whether you do these actions at all is entirely up to you. It's not specified in the ability. It is very open, right? All the restrictions are right at the top. Everything else is just all benefit until right at the end where you take damage, right? So you can choose to move and then attack, or attack and then move, or just attack. You don't have to do everything in the ability. And this allows you to do all kinds of cool things, but the more you do, the more damage you're likely to take, which is just wonderfully thematic. It's such a Skaven ability. I hope if Skaven do get a full remake in the future, that they have more abilities like this. Incredibly powerful abilities that have really fun, destructive downsides. It's like a secondary resource cost, right? Like you're paying your ability dice, but you're also paying in HP, in wounds. It's really cool. It's a very interesting way of approaching resource management. I really like that as a concept, and Skaven are the perfect place to experiment heavily. And we'll get onto that now with the Warlock Engineer with Warplock Jezzail. This guy is possibly the most sniper a sniper's ever been. He's such a bizarre model. I don't think he's necessarily good. I think he is absolutely bonkers though, and I love him with all my heart, even though I'll likely not use him in any serious list. This guy's expensive, 205 points, toughness 3, 18 wounds. He is made of paper, more so than the Claw Lord, which is impressive. And he's still very expensive. He's completely worthless in combat, and at a range, that profile ain't great. Like 2425 is kind of underwhelming, even if it has a 24-inch range, which is ludicrous. You can shoot anything on the board with that almost. It's hilarious. But he does have a triple to make up for that, and that's called the Warpstone Sights. You pick an enemy fighter within 18 inches of this fighter. For the rest of this fighter's activation, subtract the value of this ability from the toughness characteristic of that enemy fighter to a value of 1. That's kind of cool. But if this fighter has not moved its activation and the value of this ability is equal to or greater than the unmodified toughness of that enemy fighter, count each hit scored from the next ranged attack action made by this fighter as a critical hit instead. Before the total damage step for each of this fighter's ranged attack actions, this activation, this fighter makes a bonus move action up to a number of inches equal to half the value of this ability directly away from the target of the ranged attack as if they were jumping. So, that is one of the longer rules in Warcry. Not the longest, there's some pretty hefty Iron Jaws ones in there too. This is a lot to unpack. So 1, the range of the ability is shorter than the maximum range of your sniper rifle. Do not forget that, that's really important to note. 2, you subtract their toughness, but that subtracted toughness does not count for the second bit for reasons I honestly don't know. I don't know, Skaven I guess. Quirky Skaven things. If the value, though, of your ability dice is higher than their unmodified toughness, then all of your hits for the next range attack are crits, which is actually really good. In addition to all of that, you then get knocked back. Right? So, is this good? Yes, it's a good ability, but it's kind of weird. So the fact that you lower their toughness is very, very good. So you lowering their toughness means that strength 4 is absolutely fine because you'll be hitting on 3s in most cases anyway. Sure, their reduced toughness does not apply when measuring the value of the dice to their toughness for getting all crits, but have a high enough triple and you'll be getting that crit off regardless because, not many things are toughness 6. So that's good. So you'll be doing your crits. You are crit 5 at a range and you're hitting on 3s with your 2 dice. So you're looking at like 5 to 10 damage for your triple for one shot at 18 inches. And that's actually pretty good. Okay, that's actually surprisingly good. It's weird. It's weird, undeniably weird, because it feels janky. Because it is. It's very janky. There's a lot of dice rolling involved. You've got to roll your ability dice, and you've got to roll your attack dice, and it can completely fluff. But doing 10-ish damage is pretty darn nice on the first shot, and your second shot is also going to be hitting at their reduced toughness, even if you aren't going to be doing critting. So let's say with your second shot included, you're looking at like an average of like maybe 7, if you're a little bit lucky, closer to 12 damage. That's really solid. You're looking at like killing like a chaff model per turn if you invest a high enough triple to do so. And is that worth 205 points on a model made of paper? I don't think so, especially with this displacement, right? This displacement is going to be a massive, massive issue because it's after every shot. You could launch yourself off a platform, take 4 damage, and then you can't see, shoot again, right, for your second shot. Ways around this, put a model behind, put like a rat behind the warp lock Jazeel so he doesn't get knocked back because of how jumping works. There's a few ways around it, but it's a little bit clunky. The ability is strong. It is strong, but for the price of the model and the massive downside, I would much prefer just taking damage. Like if you like missed both shots, you instantly died, right? That would have been great. I would have accepted that over this. Like if you rolled like 2 1s on your Warpstone sight shot, you just instantly die. Your gun blows up, you die. That would have been preferable to me than being displaced, honestly. But it is also quite comical having a Skaven sniper fire his rifle so damn hard he gets launched off a cliff. That is comical to the extreme, and there is some weird play. You can actually use this to move forward if you shoot a enemy behind you, right? You can shoot towards more enemies, or there's some weird play here. It's a very weird ability. It's very cool though. I am a big fan of it. In its own little quirkiness. I don't think the Warlock is actually that competitive, sadly, despite this rather hilarious ability. Now, the stars of the show, okay, that's the Claw Lord, honestly, but the secondary stars of the show are these Rat Ogres. Oh. So Rat Ogres have gotten more expensive, but they've also gotten really, really good in really cool ways. So one of the downsides to Rat Ogres was that they were like all strength 4. They had good damage and decent attacks, but they were only strength 4. Now, Rat Ogres are like strength 6, right? Less damage, but they're strength 6, with, I think, more attacks. So that, right off the bat, that's great. Rat Ogres are now more reliable at just punching through things. These are your big, smashy, killy brawlers. They've also gained a point of toughness. They're toughness 5 now. With 28 wounds, they're still beasts, so you can still whip them with Packmasters to get more actions off. Rat Ogres are kind of crazy now. And they still have their Warp Fire Gun variant, who's also kind of crazy. He gets way less attacks, less strength, frankly. So he's very poor in melee. His range attack, 12 inch, no minimum range, 2 attacks, strength 5, 3, 6 though. That's really nice. That's a really, really nice profile. That's like a wizard profile. If a wizard profile was like almost twice the range and had no downside, and also had like, strength 5 base, it's kind of insane. And it's only 230 points for that. That's really cool. And remember, both these guys can be claw loaded to move or attack or both. And that range attack works too. You use your claw load to make your Rat Ogre fire. Kind of crazy. But that is not all, because they have a double called Unleashed Warp Fury, and this double, this makes me feel things. This makes me feel all kinds of things. This fighter makes a bonus attack action. At the end of this fighter's activation, allocate a number of damage points to this fighter equal to the number of damage points allocated to this fighter. So what does this mean? Good things and bad things, as is the theme here. A bonus attack action. Again, not melee attack. A bonus attack action. Insane. You're a Rat Ogre. You're a big lad here. Okay? You get into combat. Let's say you get your Claw Lord goes, come on, buddy. Move into combat and attack. He then activates and attacks 2 more times for 8 more attacks, and then uses Unleashed Warp Fury for 4 more attacks. In one turn, you've done 16 attacks at strength 6, 3/6 damage. And yes, you've likely taken damage from the forward minions, and if you have, that's just been doubled with Warp Fury, which is hilarious. But again, this also works with the Rat Ogre with Warp Fire Gun, right? You can activate the Rat Ogre with Warp Fire Gun. He can fire his shot twice and then use Warp Fury to fire again. He takes no damage. He's taken no damage at this point. So he fires 3 times for 6 shots. And then you Claw Lord him to attack again. So he then attacks 4 times for 8 shots. And then he takes damage. So on the next turn, you fire 2 more times and then Warp Fury, then take the damage from before again. And then you Claw Lord. And you see what I mean? This guy can burn so bright, right? Rat Ogres burn bright, and then they die. They will get off a whole game's worth of attacks in 2 turns. It's hilarious how many attacks these guys can get off. Throw in Packmasters, start whipping them as well. It's insane how much damage Rat Ogres and Rat Ogres with guns can actually do at a range and in melee. They are unbelievably good. And I would go as far as say they completely outclass Stormfiends now, which is why I'm hoping we get another Skaven update so Stormfiends can be adjusted to go in line with Rat Ogres, because Rat Ogres are so damn good. It's hilarious how strong they are now. They are absolute beatsticks at all ranges. My personal favourite is actually the Warpfire Gun. I would usually give either +1 strength or +1 attack to his melee. So +1 strength to his range or +1 attack to his melee. The +1 attack in melee gives him more utility, which is quite nice. If I was running the regular Rat Ogre, I would either give +1 attack or +1 damage. The +1 damage is what I'm leaning towards because 4/6 is a wonderful break point for damage. 4/6 is like a crit and hit to kill one guy, to kill you standard chaff. So Rat Ogre can go in with his 4 attacks and potentially kill one guy, and then his next action kill another guy, then you Warp Fury kill another guy, and then Claw Lord to kill another guy, right? You can kill like 4 guys in one turn with that 4/6. With just a hit and a crit. It's kind of insane. So that's what I would be with those. It's super, super cool. I'm a huge fan of both of them. I can see both styles of ogres, seeing all kinds of play in Skaven. They are incredible. They're expensive, of course. Claw is also expensive, so you've got balances. If you're taking a Claw Lord, you're taking like a Rat Ogre. If you're taking 2 Rat Ogres, you're really eating into those points. But that's where your battle trait comes in, right? You take a Claw Lord, you take like a Rat Ogre, the Warp Fire Gun, you take Scritch, that Resurrector, right? Resurrect some of your guys back. You have your trait to resurrect more guys. So you have a smallish warband with incredible damage potential that brings back its chaff over and over again. It's really interesting. I can see Skaven with their new toys really opening up new playstyles that are incredibly self-destructive. One last thing on Unleashed Warp Fury. So the damage bit to you. This is you basically take the damage you've taken all game again. So if your Rat Ogre has taken 14 wounds, you will die. You will instantly kill yourself after your action, I believe. Yeah, after your activation. So you can use Unleashed Warp Fury, attack a bajillion times, and if you die from self-inflicted damage, and it's kind of hilarious, but that could be worth it, right? Again, these Rat Ogres are definitely there to be unstable forces of just sheer death. It's so much fun. I'm a huge fan of these guys. But that's Skaven, right? There's only 3 guys, okay, we'll say 4. 4 guys and 3 abilities we can add to Skaven. And with just that, I am so excited to play Skaven. There's just so much fun stuff here. Even the sniper is a whole bunch of fun in a more casual setting, I would say. But this Claw Lord, these rat ogres, that's some serious sauce. That's going to do some all kinds of just nasty things on the battlefield. And I look forward to seeing a revitalized Skaven. And I'm really, really excited to see what Games Workshop do in the future if they fully re-release Skaven. Because Skaven is one of the biggest factions in Warcry. They have got loads, like 30, 40 profiles just in Skaven. So expecting Skaven to have a full remake in this FAQ with everything else added might have been a bit unrealistic in hindsight. But if they do get a full faction rework, think Fleshy Courts, it'd be so good. It will be so much fun to see all the new units and all the old stuff rejigged to have some new life, especially if they go down this design route of Skaven having incredibly powerful abilities with incredibly detrimental downsides. That's great stuff. I love it. Absolutely love these guys. But that's it. That is the Skaven all done and dusted. The Skaven are wonderful. I don't play enough Skaven. I am likely going to play a lot more Skaven now because I'm a huge fan of the stuff they have on display. This is just funky stuff. Let me know down below what you think of Skaven. Are you a fan of the new Claw Lord? I can see the Claw Lord being a bit controversial, potentially because he is so squishy for his points, but does his ability tip that scale in his favour or not? Let me know. Are you a fan of the new Rat Ogres? And which one is your favourite? Again, let me know down below. Until next time though, lads, ladies, and everybody in between and beyond, ta-ra.
Groovy. Boy howdy, it's me, it's Toast, and we are here once again with the post-Toast credits. As always, a huge shout out to my algorithmic demon slayers, Armour Enthusiast 7, Andy Morris, CT6497, Girth Demon, The Head Knight of Paint, Heinz D, Long Run Hobbies, Lord Phylax, Sable Saber, Brioche, Steve Bean, The Houston Toad, Tough Tootin' Baby, and Velas. A huge thank you for all of your support, and I will see you all next time.